you, Sags. Well, for those locals of a certain age, this is a night to relive your youth. Friday nights under the lights here at Prenton Park were a staple, a fortnightly habit that would make or break your weekend before it had even started. Well, tonight, the Wirral faithful can make their season. This, the latest step on the resurgence of a club that hit their heights around the turn of the century before fading and falling and ultimately crashing to successive relegations that took them out of the league. In the last 25 years, they've reached a major final, they've come within an ace of being 90 minutes from the Premier League, and they've had some extraordinary cup conquests. That heritage might have faded in the memory after the recent past, and closing the gap to the top three in League Two is clearly a priority, but it is showpiece events like this in front of a capacity crowd that stir the emotions and rekindle those recollections of the club's finest hours. Beating Southampton here, having been 3-0 down, winning 3-0 at Everton, replicating such heroism against one of the Premier League's top three tonight's clearly a tall order, but they put themselves back in a position to dream. Even that hasn't been the case in the recent past. Tranmere certainly feeling as though they're moving in the right direction. They line up tonight with Scott Davis in goal, man whose only previous appearance in round 3 was with Fleetwood 7 years ago. The back three, Mark Ellis, who's twice reached the 4th round, Steve McNulty and Manny Monte, who was a trainee at QPR before plying his trade in non-league football with the likes of Whitehawk, Tonbridge Angels and Hayes and Yedding. Caprice, Harris, McCullough, Gilmore and Ridehouse, then Jennings and Norwood up front. Gazaniga in goal for Spurs, who get the game underway. Foyt, Sanchez and Davis, Walker Peters, Skip, Ali and Aurier, Lucas Moura, Llorente and Son. First challenge on Juan Foyt as the ball was played back to him. Results in a round of applause from the Tranmere fans. Spurs in possession, just outside their own penalty area, with the captain for the night, Dele Alli, in a slightly deeper role tonight than ordinarily. Spurs in their change kit to avoid the clash of colours, with Tranmere in plain white shirts with blue trim, and Spurs in two-tone blue, very light blue, around the shoulders and arms, and the majority of the shirt dark blue. They're in possession with Aurier, back through the midfield, down towards Skip. Aurier started at right wing back rather than left. Ali will play it forward now towards Lucas Moura. Back for Dele Alli again. Into the centre circle for Moura, who skips around the challenge of the combative McCullough, the Northern Ireland international, but Ali can pick it up. He's got Llorente making a run ahead of him. He just waits for Carl Walker-Peters to make his way forward. A couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline. Spurs with the vast majority of possession in the early exchanges, as you would expect. Young Skip has the ball now in the midfield. He chips it forward. It's headed away by McCullough. And now it'll be brought down by Ali in the midfield again. He's ball into the feet of Llorente. Moura trying to steer the ball away. McNulty can step up from the defensive line and bring it forward. As it's driven forward, it looked like the handball shout against Dele Alli was a good one, but the referee has allowed play to continue, and Spurs are in possession with Son over on the left-hand side. 3 away, Matt, in the penalty area if they can get it across, and it's headed away by McNulty, and out of play for a corner, which will be taken in front of the Cop, the big stand here at Prenton Park, away to the right-hand side. No surprise, and Tottenham dominant in possession inside the opening couple of minutes, Stuart.
Yeah, as I say, the atmosphere around this place is incredible. The home end away to our right is absolutely chocker, and I think every opportunity they'll have to get behind the home team, they'll certainly take.
6 inside the penalty area for this delivery from the Tottenham left-hand side, which is an away swinger from Ben Davies. It's half cleared out to Lucas Moura, and then Harris has been able to get it further away. Skip survives another handball shout as it's then played over the top by Aurier, back inside the Tranmere penalty area, and Mark Ellis turns onto it and volleys it clear and out for a throw, which will be taken over on the left-hand side by Tottenham. Carl Walker-Peters playing at left wing back tonight when he was so impressive in that recent game against Bournemouth. He played on the right-hand side, which is favoured position. Did play against Newport last season in the FA Cup at left wing back, and certainly didn't have a particularly great night, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes in that same position today. Lucas Moura plays it out to Dele Alli, who's 5 yards inside the Tranmere half. Spurs are kicking from left to right as we look at it, and the blonde-haired Skip who's making only his second start in the Tottenham shirt today. He plays it forward, down the right-hand side for Foyt. Foyt can turn the ball back, get away from the challenge of Gilmour, and work it all the way back to his goalkeeper, Gazzaniga. Now play forward by Ben Davis. Davis to Ali, who can turn in the midfield, trying to get away from Harris. And as the ball is worked out towards Walker-Peters, he just gets a little Wirral welcome over on that far side as he ends up rolling over. The ball's gone out of play. It's not a foul. It is a throw to restart play, which will be taken on the Tottenham left. 3.5 gone. It's live and exclusive for national radio tonight here on TalkSport.
When you go into games like this, Jim, if you're Tranmere, the first thing I look out for is, do they respect the higher league side? And straight away you can tell Tranmere have got on the front foot. They've got healthy respect for Tottenham, but they're not sitting back in awe of them. They're putting their foot in. Harris has just proved that. Got a good shape to their team, and certainly good mobility up front. First time I've had, obviously, this season a live viewing of Jennings and Norwood, but they're very mobile. Quite often you come down, you drop down the leagues, it's an immobile strike force. Here they've got two boys that are prepared to shut down from the front, and they're going to cause problems to Tottenham running in behind, you would suspect.
Talk about Harris putting his foot in the midfield. He knows no other way, really. He's had 10 red cards in his career.
I'm glad he timed that one right then.
Absolutely. Referee tonight, incidentally, Andre Mariner, who's one of only 5 referees ever to send someone off in an FA Cup final. It's Pablo Zabaleta that saw red when he took charge 6 seasons ago now. Spurs are in possession. It's 0-0 on the Wirral with 5 minutes gone here at Prenton Park. And Foyt has possession for Tottenham. He works it down towards the right-hand side for Aurier. Back for Skip. Skip will play it back inside the centre circle to Davinson Sanchez, who's in the middle of the 3 centre-halves for Tottenham tonight. Back now for Dele Alli. Ali, captaining the Tottenham team, works it back for Sanchez again, and then forward for Ali once more. Lucas Moura can take the ball on the half-turn. Walker-Peters makes an excellent run forward, but it was well read by Jake Caprice, the right wing-back for Tranmere, who has possession over on the far touchline. Ball is steered forward then by Harris, but given away. And Tottenham are able to bring the ball forward with Skip finding Foyt. 2 youngsters in the side combining. And now laid out towards Serge Aurier. Back in the side after injury this evening. Back from him for Davinson Sanchez. Sanchez in his own half of the centre circle, and he's hit it behind Dele Alli from close range. It was a routine pass, or it should have been. But Ali forced the stretch. He couldn't keep it in. And he goes out to play for a Tranmere throw over on the right-hand touchline. 6 gone. It's Tranmere 0, Tottenham 0.
Yeah, Tranmere forcing Tottenham into an error because of how well they've got a fantastic shape about themselves. Tottenham will be endeavouring to force their back 3 into a back 5 and then free up the space either side of their sort of tight midfield 3, but the organisation of Tranmere is the first thing that sort of struck me. Very well organised team, very hard working, get on the front foot and put pressure on the ball.
Now McNulty has played it for us, hit Llorente, and he breaks forward for Son, who can draw the goalkeeper, who did really well, at least from the initial save. Davis off his line quickly, able to save at the feet of Son. Back it comes again. Spurs can't make the most of the second ball, and Tranmere survive the first real skirmish and scare. Son's pace always going to get him in behind that back line, particularly the relatively immobile McNulty at the age of 35. Moura now will play the ball forward. Llorente can't get past the man mountain Manny Monte, and the ball goes through for Davis away to our right-hand side. But that was a good piece of goalkeeping by Scott Davis.
It was. For one moment I thought he was going to rush off his line and seed the space in behind him and potentially come out of his box. He put the brakes on nice and early, put the pressure back on Son, and I think Son, personally, I think he took the shot too soon. He should have got a little bit closer and tried to slip the goalkeeper.
Has been in fantastic goal-scoring form, 8 in his last 9 games and 8 in his last 8 Premier League starts. South Korean, who has got 2 more games in the Spurs shirt before going away to the Asian Cup. He's eligible for the match against Chelsea, Carabao Cup semi-final first leg, which will bring you live on TalkSport next week, and then the Manchester United game a week on Sunday. After that, he's off with South Korea to the Asian Cup. Gilmour, 20-year-old in the heart of the midfield for Tranmere. Back for Ellis. Ellis out to Jake Caprice. Caprice on the right-hand touchline, lays it back behind Ellis in his yellow boots. He's got time just to retrace his steps. Laid back to his goalkeeper, and Davis will clear. Right-footed, chips it forward. Plenty of air underneath that as it goes towards halfway. Ben Davis wins it in the air. It's flicked back through the midfield by Harris, who turns it forward. Davis then has got time to bring it down and look for the ball over the top. Llorente chases it with McNulty, and it goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken over on the right-hand side. Let's go back down to our pitch-side reporter, Nigel Adderley, down there, TalkSports England correspondent. Nigel, what have the benches either side of you made in the opening exchanges?
Well, Maurizio Pochettino has been very calm away to my left, but I don't think he's been too happy with the rotation in the midfield, supporting the strikers. And from this area here, Son really should have scored that opening goal. Mickey Mellon and Michael Jackson to my right have been more mobile in terms of their attitude around the technical area, and they're looking for their players to try and compress the space to prevent Tottenham from moving forward at every opportunity.
Monte clears the ball forward. It's an awkward one for Foyce. It just came down, probably got lost in the floodlights for a moment, and he slightly miscued his clearance, and it goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the left-hand side. Someone like Foyce, this has come to England, possibly hasn't played at a ground that has old-fashioned floodlight pylons like they are tonight, right. And will be slightly more difficult with a ball that's just been hung down the touchline. He's looking right into the glare of those floodlights as he tries to deal with it. Tranmere make ground down the left-hand side, but can't force across inside the penalty area. Gilmour well dealt with by Aurier, and he goes out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Paolo Gazzaniga. Spurs, 8 times winners of this competition, but it is now 28 seasons since they last won the FA Cup. Stu, I won't mention it, don't worry. Ball is with Ben Davis.
I don't remember it myself these days, mate.
Davis plays it forward for Ali. Ali to Son. If it had ended after 15 minutes, you'd have done all right. Son on the right-hand touchline. Just play the ball forward through the midfield. Down towards Skip. Skip takes it towards the corner flag, lays it back for Aurier again. Aurier into the feet of Son, who takes it on the half turn, trying to get it away from Gilmour. Lays it back for Foyt to Skip. Skip to Aurier. Aurier to Son. He's 10 yards outside the penalty area. Maybe a little bit further than that when he finds Kyle Walker-Peters, who had 3 assists in that 5-0 win against Bournemouth over the festive period. Back for Lucas Moura again. Lucas Moura to Ali. Ali closed down very quickly. There was a decent challenge which came in on him from Harris, but Spurs are able to play round the midfield again. Skip to Lucas Moura, knocked away by McNulty, then by Gilmour. Back out for Dele Alli once more. Ali to Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters laying it back for Ali, who just lets the ball run past him, and it goes back for Foyt, who finds Sanchez, and then Sanchez will just play it out towards the right-hand touchline. Foyt lays it back for Sanchez again. Spurs with the overwhelming majority of possession in the opening 11 minutes. They probably had 80% of the ball up to this point. 2 sides have been drawn together in the Cup twice before, back in the 1950s when Tranmere was 17th in Division 3 North, but they held Tottenham here. Replay didn't go quite so well 48 hours later, where they scored once in the 10-goal thriller. Ball worked out towards Walker-Peters. Over on the left-hand side, his in-swinging delivery is headed away by Mark Ellis, and then it'll be a volley further forward by Gilmour, and good movement again. Just forces Davison Sanchez to knock it away. Norwood then lost his footing right in front of the benches as he tried to put the pressure on. This near part of the pitch, Nigel Adderley, not the best. The playing surface in general is great, but just the near part of the pitch is not holding up so well. Get your views on that in a moment as Spurs break it forward quickly down the left-hand side with Walker-Peters laying it back for Ali. Llorente is on his feet, holding the back of his head after being down for a moment. Monte gets it away. It's ricochet back off Son inside the penalty area. McNulty claiming he was pushed over by Llorente. Play goes on, and Tranmere can bring it away from inside their own penalty area with Norwood on the left-hand touchline finding Jennings, and then Jennings wearing 11 for Tranmere. All put under pressure by Foyt, who's beaten him. Sliding challenge was very effective. Son onto his left foot on the edge of the D, rolls it in. Lucas Moura, good save from Davis, diving to his left-hand side, grateful to get his hands behind the ball, but Lucas Moura should have scored. Spurs have had 2 presentable opportunities in the first 13 minutes, but Scott Davis has been equal to the pair of them.
Yeah, the goalkeeper's been outstanding, I've got to say, on both occasions. Held his ground there. I think he read that the shot was going into the far corner. But as I was speaking with Sags beforehand, it's that speed of thought. And on that occasion, it was Jennings who felt as though he had more time than he actually did, and then was dispossessed.
Nigel, you're talking about the playing surface. It just looks as though the first 8-9 yards in from this near touchline is not quite so good. Maybe where it's been in the shadow of this stand, it hasn't quite drained as well.
No, they had drainage problems here all season. When I spoke to Mark Palios a couple of hours before kick-off, he was trying to keep all of the television operators and everybody else off the pitch, because it is rather boggy down this near side, even though it's relatively dry elsewhere. As for what's happening on the field, Mickey Mellon not happy with James Norwood at the moment, telling his top scorer to get back and help the midfield, because he just feels they're being swamped and Norwood's not doing his job.
Aurier trying to get away from Righthouse, flicks it in with the outside of his right boot inside the box, and the vastly experienced Ellis can knock it away. Down towards Aurier again on the right hand side, who turns away from Righthouse, the left wing back of Tranmere. Ball in towards Son, who was pushed over to the ground by Gilmore and by McCullough, I beg your pardon. Just wanted the referee to realise that. He fell forward onto the ball and picked it up with his hands, but Andre Mariner agrees that it was a free kick. And it's a set-piece opportunity which will be taken level with the right-hand edge of the penalty area. It's about 8 yards outside the box. Ben Davis stands over it. Left-footed in-swinger from him on the cards, or maybe it's going to be a right-footed away swinger from Heung-min Son. The referee puts the spray down just outside the penalty area, so just 10.5, 11 yards outside the penalty area, this free kick. Skip stands inside the box in what at the moment is an offside position. Righthouse is having a look at him. There are two in the Tranmere wall. There are 5 players attacking this from deep. Sanchez trying to get away from Monte. Ball inside the penalty area. McNulty beat Llorente. Llorente sits on the ground, hands outstretched, wants a penalty, and then Ben Davis volleys a left-footed effort from 30 yards. And again, his namesake Scott Davis can dive away to his right-hand side and make a relatively comfortable save.
Yeah, in all these games, Jim, the goalkeeper, I think when you're a lower league team, the goalkeeper's got to be on outstanding form to get anything against a side like Tottenham. He's made 3 very good saves so far. Tranmere have not had the opportunity to put any pressure on Tottenham's goal. You know, they've defended pretty deep, and when they've won the ball, they've had so much distance to make up.
It's Tranmere 0, Spurs 0 in the third round of the FA Cup. It's exclusively live on TalkSport with the Sun Football. 15 minutes gone. Goalless, and just the start of an enticing weekend of action for you right here on the TalkSport network. Davinson Sanchez in possession at the moment for Spurs, finding Foyt. Foyt plays it forward towards Skip. Skip lays it back for Sanchez, who will play it out to the left-footed centre-half Ben Davis. Forward from him to Dele Alli. Alli has got Lucas Moura just drifting into a more midfield position, slightly behind square. Back it comes now to Foyt. Sanchez will play down towards Son, and back for Foyt again. Tomorrow, TalkSport bring you the early kick-off at 12:30 as Manchester United take on Reading. From 1, Adrian returns. He brings you the goals as they go in. Over on TalkSport 2 at 3, Chelsea against Forest. And here on TalkSport, we'll bring you Blackpool against Arsenal from 5:30 with Sam and Stuart at Bloomfield Road on the Fylde Coast tomorrow. Then Sunday, Sags back in the chair from 1. We'll bring you a match between two sides separated by 110 places in the league structure as Woking take on Watford. That kicks off at 2. It's followed by Newport County against Leicester from 4:30, and both of those games are live on TalkSport. Then on Monday we end our FA Cup weekend at Wolves as they host Liverpool. Ball's just bowled out of play by Scott Davis because centre-half Mark Ellis has gone down on the edge of his own penalty area, just feeling his rib cage for a moment. He got a pretty hefty knock. It's gone out of play for a throw, and Son immediately, seeing that Ellis doesn't need any treatment, just picks up the ball and gently throws it back to goalkeeper Scott Davis, who can restart play away to our right-hand side. Do have a very good home record there, Tranmere. And certainly defensively, only Liverpool have conceded fewer goals at home in the league all season than Tranmere. Liverpool conceded 3, Tranmere only 5 in 13 games, although they have actually led in 12 in 5 cup ties that they played here. And whilst in the league their home form has been good, in the cup, in 5 games, they haven't had a single victory so far. A couple of draws and 3 defeats. The ball is laid back by Monte to his goalkeeper Scott Davis, and Davis will knock it away right-footed. A long ball launched forward. Foyt on the end of it, going up for it with Norwood. He brought down in the midfield by Gilmour, and a firm challenge comes in from Aurier and puts it out of play for a throw. Nigel, you've seen the replay of the McNulty-Llorente penalty incident.
And there was no doubt that McNulty had hold of Llorente's shirt, which is why the Spaniard went down so dramatically inside the penalty area. Had the goalkeeper, or rather had the referee, seen it, then I think Spurs would have had the penalty.
No VAR tonight. VAR is in implementation for a number of the FA Cup third round ties, but not here at Prenton Park this evening. Here's Foyt, who will play the ball for Skip. Skip just caught in possession by Jennings in the midfield. McCullough, though, in playing the ball forward so quickly, lost out, didn't have the necessary range of passing there. He wins a second opportunity to try and drive forward. Now Ridehouse can find him again. This time it's a better ball in, but the offside flag is up on the far touchline against Norwood. And it's a free kick which will be taken by Spurs about 5 yards outside their penalty area. 19 gone at Prenton Park. It's Tranmere 0, Tottenham 0.
You can see why they're so good at home, Tranmere. The shape of the team's fantastic. This back 5 defend very deep. Midfield 3 really tight in front of them. They allow you to go wide, but you can't come through the middle of them. And up front with the 2 boys with the pace they've got, and Norwood, you've got to like him. He's almost like, he reminds me of Charlie Austin a little bit, you know, scurries around, very mobile, and looks to get on the shoulder of the last man.
Well, his form has been excellent this season. He's twice had spells of 7 goals in 7 games. He's the man that scored the goal that won promotion last May. He's had a contract in the summer, and it'll be interesting to see where he's playing his football next season. I think if Tranmere have a good end to this campaign, he may well be here. Ball played forward by Ben Davis, given away in the midfield. It's won back by McCullough, and then played by Gilmour down towards Ridehouse on the left-hand side. Back from him to Monte, who was in the Forest Green side, along with Mark Ellis, that beat Tranmere in the playoff final a couple of seasons ago. Ball then headed back by Foyt and returned through the midfield again by McCullough. Ali drives forward, McNulty wins it back at the back for Tranmere, and now to be played forward by Gilmour to Harris. And every time Tranmere are on the front foot, there's a real buzz of expectation goes around Prenton Park, and it's Caprice taking on Walker-Peters, and he just used too much of the pitch over on the right-hand side, just rolled it out of play as he tried to beat the young wing-back, and it's a throw which will be taken by Spurs in their left wing-back position. But 20 minutes in, the odd scare at the back for Tranmere, but by and large they've stood firm, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, I think Spurs know they're in for a game now, and maybe these chances that they missed early on, they might rue them as the game goes on. They know that Tranmere are a very well organised side, tough nuts to crack down, and no respecter of reputations.
Spurs are on the front foot with Aurier, and this time he has much more room to work with. Running at Ridehouse, just rolls the ball past the wing back into the feet of Son, and Monte comes across and puts it out for a throw which will be taken on the Tottenham right hand side, not too far adrift of the edge of the penalty area. Back to Foyt. Foyt will lay it back inside his own half for Davinson Sanchez. Mickey Mellon off the bench, just gesticulating at his players. He's got a little bit of history with Spurs. The last time that Tottenham were here, back in 2001 in a League Cup tie, Spurs won 4-0 that day. Goals from Sheringham, Anderton, Poyet and Rebroff, and Mellon was sent off in that game. It's also survivor of the last FA Cup quarter-final that Tranmere reached as well, which was 15 years ago. In fact, they haven't got past this stage of the competition since then. Ridehouse will play it forward. Foyt and Sanchez between them can mop up and get the ball away from Norwood, who has scored 10 of Tranmere's 17 home league goals this season. It's a big responsibility on his shoulders. Ali, clever little step over, but Lucas Moura couldn't bring it under control, and McNulty will shepherd it back to his goalkeeper. We're midway through the first half. At this stage on New Year's Day, Tottenham about to go 3 up down in Cardiff. Tranmere have made a very good defensive fist of this so far, albeit that they've hardly seen the ball. Spurs 79% possession through the first 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah, probably the one thing that's let Tranmere down a little bit is it's that difference in transition between when you drop back and you're nice and deep and compact to springing that, and they've not just been as clinical with their passing when they've sprung and turned over possession as we've just seen there, Jim.
Ball forward from Harris, who got the weight on it right. Would have been able to roll Norwood in, who had managed to steal a march on Skip, getting behind Davinson Sanchez. But just too much on the pass forward, and the fine margins didn't work in Tranmere's favour. Then it went through for Gazzaniga.
Yeah, if you don't get that first pass right or the second pass right, you can't get numbers up into support of it, and that's where they've probably fell down, if anything, so far this evening, Tranmere.
Foul by Lucas Moura in the midfield gives Tranmere a free kick, which McCulloch thought about taking quickly, but then thought better of it. He'll leave it for Mark Ellis, the centre-half sign from Carlisle. He's had a long and illustrious lower league career, Devonian. This free kick will be taken midway between the edge of the Tranmere penalty area and the halfway line. Scott Davis will take it. Spurs defending with a very high line, the back 5, a good 20 yards outside their own penalty area, condensing the play as Davis sends it forward. Foyt going up for it with Norwood. And it goes out of play by Ridehouse off Son for a throw, which will be taken on the Tranmere left-hand side by Liam Ridehouse, who was sent off in the first minute of the playoff final last season, but Tranmere still managing to get past Boreham Wood to get promotion despite being down to 10 men. Now an opportunity, a right-footed effort comes in. It was well struck by Jennings, who scored an extraordinary goal at Southport in the last round. That one was blocked, but Gazzaniga had come out and tried to deal with the initial ball and then was off his line, stranded in no man's land. It broke for Jennings, who had a right-footed snapshot, but Spurs had enough bodies back, able to get bodies in the line of fire to assuage the threat. It goes out of play for a throw, and the play stops because Lucas Moura has gone down off the ball.
Yeah, I think he's just got winded, blocking the cross. Great effort there by Jennings and a good block. I'm just looking at McNulty at the heart of the defence there. If I didn't know better, I would say it's Mark Palios, who shot down from the commentary box, got changed and put his kit on and playing at the heart of the Tranmere defence.
He's had an excellent career. Steve McNulty made his name in local parts in non-league football with Burscough and then with Vauxhall Motors as well, before moving to Barrow. Ball played forward here by McCulloch. It's a good ball down the left-hand side of the penalty area, but Norwood couldn't wrap enough of his foot around it. It was a cross-come shot which went some way wide in the end. He just made connection with the wrong part of his left foot, but that was a half chance for Tranmere. The first time they've really been able to get possession and turn the Spurs back line, and it brought a very appreciative round of applause from the home support. But it remains 0-0 with 26 minutes gone here on Talk Sports, Stuart.
Yeah, Norwood just showing then the mobility that he's got. He's happy to just dart in behind into little channels and cause problems, and he should have had a little bit more composure once he got in there. He probably had more time on his hands than he actually thought.
He spent a lot of his career in non-league. This is his first season of league football since he was at Exeter between 2009 and 2011. He's adjusted to it very well. As I mentioned earlier, he's the joint top scorer in the Football League this season. 18 in all competitions for him. Foyt finds Skip in the midfield. Ali then will lay it back for Sanchez, and good pressure applied by Gilmour, forcing Sanchez to work it all the way back for Gazzaniga. And again, the home crowd respond encouragingly. Llorente drops off, plays it out towards the Tottenham left-hand side for Dele Alli. It's 0-0 here on the Wirral. Ball then goes back for Ben Davis to Sanchez again, inside his own half of the centre circle. And Sanchez will turn it forward for Davis, and Spurs just turn defence into attack very easily, with Son and Ali combining down that left flank. Ali bringing the ball under control and coming in off the left-hand touchline. A man who knows all about a cup shot, Dele Alli. Part of his reputation built around his performance for the MK Dons in their 4-0 win over Manchester United in the League Cup under Louis van Gaal's tenure at Old Trafford a few seasons ago. Davis will play the ball forward. Here's Ali again. Ali has played more than 150 games for Spurs now, laying it back inside his own half for Davis. Davis for Sanchez. Work forward to Foyt. The young Argentinian defender will be able to bring the ball forward and get away from Gilmour. The referee just has to make sure that he doesn't intercept a pass by mistake, which was intended for Ali. Got out of the way of it. Moore then plays it back for Ali again. Now back for Ben Davis once more. And Spurs still string the passes together. And they're still in Tranmere territory, but the home side keeping a very disciplined defensive shape behind the ball and plugging the gaps that Spurs are trying to exploit. Skip just loses out in the midfield. Well, one back by Jennings to Norwood. Back to Norwood again from Gilmour, the left-hand side of the midfield, but one back easily by Aurier. Now Son to Llorente, who's blocked off there by Monte. Referee says no, he wasn't. And Scott Davis can come to the left-hand edge of his penalty area and pick the ball up, and it's 0-0 with 27 gone, and the murmurs and boos you can hear from the Tranmere fans because they thought that Llorente was looking for something that wasn't there.
Yeah, we were warned beforehand that Monte is a man mountain. You've got to go a long way round to get round him. And Llorente attempted to go through him, and that isn't going to happen tonight.
Long clearance on the right-hand side by Davis. Goes over Sanchez. Headed down by Foyt. Volleyed for by Aurier. McNulty lets the ball bounce in front of him. Then heads it forward. McCulloch. Back for Monte. Now down to the left-hand touchline. A slight stumble by Reithaus as he plays the ball forward. It was a decent delivery out towards the right-hand side for Caprice, but it gets a little bit scrappy again in the heart of the midfield. Spurs emerging with possession. Son works it out towards Lucas Moura, who will run at Ellis. It's a brilliantly timed challenge when there was no margin for error just outside the penalty area. And as Moura just nudged it forward, Ellis saw his opportunity and slid in and volleyed it behind into the cop and out of play for a corner.
Yeah, you can see, I think the pitch is playing into Tranmere's hands a little bit. You know, when you're so used to watching Premier League football, the ball just rolls smoothly. Here, you've got to watch it onto your feet. There is a slight bobble on the ball every time it comes, but what a tackle that was by Ellis.
Ben Davis with the delivery, and away swinger Llorente volleys it just over the bar, but it was well worked, good movement. He dropped off just behind the penalty spot and hit it with a swivelling volley on the turn, which cleared the bar by about a foot.
Yeah, reminded me very much. Do you remember Teddy Sheringham used to gravitate into that position, just used to go into the 6-yard box, then pull away, free up some space. Very unfortunate not to get that on target.
A little bit of a frustration, I would imagine, for Mauricio Pochettino and co. The fact that they've had all this possession, haven't really been able to create too many constructive goal-scoring opportunities with it. Tranmere have started well and then grown further into the game as it's gone on. 0-0 the score here on TalkSport. Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce talking you through the action. Son has possession. Played by Llorente. It might be one of his last games for Tottenham. He's set to move to Turkey and Galatasaray. Skip lays the ball back for Davison Sanchez into the feet of Ali. Ali tried to take it on the turn, just played it straight into Harris, but it's been won back by Llorente, who will drive forward now. The man who scored a 12-minute FA Cup hat-trick against Rochdale last season. Can't find a man, but Lucas Moura has won possession back. And now it goes out to the left-hand touchline again for Walker Peters for Spurs. Back from him to Lucas Moura. To his right is Skip. Further forward to his right is Foyt, whose slow, skidding effort from 25 yards. Very easily claimed by the impressive Scott Davis. And we've played half an hour without the deadlock being broken.
Yeah, I think Tranmere's biggest forte so far, what we've seen, certainly the shape of the team, but they've snapped into any sort of 50-50 challenges and possibly come out on top of them. They've shown a little bit more hunger to impose themselves on Tottenham, and you know, Tottenham want to play, they want to pass the ball, but Tranmere are aware they need to knock them out their stride.
Possession for Spurs, still in the mid-70s. The goal attempts, though, dead level, albeit that Tranmere still waiting for their first on target, and Spurs 3 have all been on target. Here's Ben Davis bringing the ball forward for Tottenham. He's inside his own half and will check, lay it back for Davison Sanchez. Spurs not playing with huge tempo, which certainly was the case in Cardiff the other day, where they were snapping into the challenges and were I think demonstrating that the lethargy which had been talked about after the Wolves defeat wasn't really a problem, but they haven't played at that same kind of tempo today, only third gear really. Here's Lucas Moura, back out towards Ali. Ali into the feet of Moura again, and back for Ali once more, put under pressure by Harris. He's laid it back inside the centre circle for Sanchez, who works it down towards the right hand side for Foy. And he will play it into the feet of Aurier, whose little cushion layoff towards Skip is dealt with by McCulloch. He's been able to play it off Skip, and out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Tranmere left-hand side. 32 minutes gone, it's Tranmere 0, Spurs 0 in the third round of the FA Cup, exclusively live on TalkSport with the Sun Football.
I think from Tottenham's perspective, they'll be delighted that Tranmere have not put their goal under too much threat, if any, if I'm being honest with you. But from sort of the possession they've had, Tottenham, and the 2 or 3 good chances they've created, they'll be disappointed they've not got their nose in front.
Fantastic atmosphere from the first whistle here tonight, and that continues. The ball is thrown forward by Ridehouse, headed down by Foyth. Left-hand side of the penalty area, Jennings has done well, and it's forced Tranmere's first corner, which will be taken on the left-hand touchline by Liam Ridehouse, will come across to take it. And that's the cue for McNulty to stay back. McCulloch stays back, just about everybody else goes forward. McCulloch actually making his way now to just outside the D. Well, they got 6 inside the penalty area. Ridehouse with an away swinger. Dele Alli at the near post was the man that dealt with it, got it away from Harris, and now to play for a second corner in quick succession.
Yeah, they're not shy in putting men in the box. They've got 6 in the box, 3 in the 6-yard box. Tranmere, good defensive header there by Dele Alli, who's guarding that near post zone.
It's a Ridehouse to take it again. The ball almost on the corner quadrant as he swings it in. Monte with a free header. Gazzaniga saved it. Well, I don't know who was marking him, but he lost his man very easily. And he just peeled away, found himself in space 15 yards out, and it was the first effort on target, but Gazzaniga was able to claim it. He got the power, but not the direction he needed. Spurs bring it forward quickly. Ali can't get there ahead of Gilmore, who's put it out of play into the Johnny King stand on the far touchline for a throw, which will be taken on the Tottenham left. It's very quickly won back by Tranmere. Here's Norwood playing the ball forward. He's asked an awful lot of caprice, and it'll be knocked by Davinson Sanchez back to his goalkeeper, and they can play around the right wing back relatively easily. Skip though with a nervy touch under pressure from Gilmore, and Ben Davis for Sanchez, who needs a second touch, and Tranmere pressing from the front here, and it's good effective pressing as well. Although now Spurs, having been able to retain possession for a good 7 or 8 seconds, you see Tranmere drop back off. Skip's got possession with 10 minutes from half-time. The atmosphere intensifies further, and it's still 0-0.
When you're playing these cup games, though, when you're Tranmere, it's little interactions like that. Players going that extra mile to shut down a burst of energy that puts the opposition under a little bit of pressure, and all of a sudden the home fans start singing, and it just adds to the atmosphere.
Spurs have only been beaten in the third round once in the last 12 years, which was defeated Arsenal some 5 years ago. Last loss to a lower division side in round 3, and they were beaten at Leicester in 2006. So they've got a good cup record, of course beaten in the semi-finals in the last 2 seasons, but it's a long time, generation now since they've won it. Here's Son towards the edge of the penalty area for Spurs. Walker-Peters just checks and makes sure he stays onside. He can swing an inch too high for Lucas Moura. Defensive header, not the best. The second one was much better from Monte. Ridehouse with the first, and Monte can steer it clear and out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Tottenham right-hand side by Serge Aurier. 36 on the clock, 0-0 here on TalkSport. Llorente trying to juggle the ball inside the box, and again good defending, shepherded out for a goal kick, which will be taken away to our right-hand side by Scott Davison. We'll go back pitch side to TalkSport's correspondent Nigel Adderley.
Yes, Monty Monte has never scored for Tranmere, but it was a terrific opportunity a few moments ago. Serge Aurier actually slipped. He was the player who was marking him, so maybe another issue with the pitch, and Monte with a free header. But at the moment, the Tranmere bench to my right, a lot happier with the way they're getting to grips with the Spurs midfield, and I think they're trying to target Foyth on this near side, both Rydalsh and Gilmour pushing up at every opportunity.
Scott Davis with the goal kick from in front of the Kop, away to our right hand side. Ball headed forward by Foyt, and Lucas Moura can bring it down, and then we'll take on McCulloch, and then he'll take on Monte, who's done really well. Just come across, step in front of Lucas Moura and flick it out of play for a corner, which will be taken on the Spurs right hand side, and Ben Davis sprints across from centre half to take it, and Davinson Sanchez has made his way forward, stands on the edge of the 6-yard box. Ali is in the near post zone. Son is there ready for the short one, although Gilmour's alive to that. Llorente and Foyt and Lucas Moura making runs from deeper positions. It's a poor delivery in towards the near post, which is easily cleared by Harris, and then volleyed further to safety by Ellis. Chested down in the midfield by Walker-Peters. Son will take it on. He's midway inside the Tranmere half as he pops it off to the left-hand touchline for Ali. Ali on his right foot. See the goalkeeper off his line. It was a very cheeky and speculative attempt to bend it over the goalkeeper into the top right-hand corner. But he's missed by 2 or 3 yards. It's out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, just looking at that last corner there, it was Sanchez and Monte is the matchup you've got. And Sanchez, all he done was take Monte right to the far side of the goal and didn't even make a run towards the ball. So I wonder whether they've sort of turned around and said, look, whoever plays against Monte, just take him out the equation and we'll chance our arm with the rest. But he is such a man mountain.
Yeah, he is a big old unit, isn't he? He's 6'4" and built like the proverbial. He's huge. He's only played 50 senior games in his career, so many more in non-league football, but only 50 senior games. Here's Son over on the left-hand touchline. Yard in from that left-hand side. Will drop his shoulder and try and beat the 2 Tranmere players who are across the cover. Got away from Ellis, but not Caprice. That is a corner. Spurs third in quick succession, and this one taken short and quickly into the feet of Sanchez towards the edge of the box. A little back heel flick. Walker-Peters can take it on from Ali's touch, and then his low driven cross is dealt with at the second attempt by the Tranny back line, and they've got it forward towards Norwood. Those lost out. Aurier from distance has put one into the top right hand corner from 30 yards. Brilliant strike. He just stepped forward onto the weak Tranmere clearance, took a touch to set himself, and has rifled it past Scott Davis, who's had an inspirational evening. Nothing he could do about that. It's taken Spurs best part of 40 minutes to break through, but they have their noses in front. Tranmere 0, Tottenham 1.
Well, he's just run onto a really, really loose ball, if you like, and swung at it. It's almost come off the outside of his right foot, and the goalkeeper, his body language, he was rooted to the spot. I think he knew he was beaten hands down, and it was some strike right in the top corner.
Well, he scored against Brighton and Bournemouth last season. It's only his 3rd goal for Spurs, and one that will just settle the nerves, because the longer it stayed 0-0, the more it would have been going through Maurizio Pochettino's mind that he could have a repeat of last season's matches at both Newport and Rochdale, where Tottenham against lower division opposition, League 2 and League 1 respectively, needed equalising goals in the last 10 minutes after going behind, having not taken their chances when they were on top. But Aurier's goal has given Spurs the lead here with 4 minutes to go to half-time. Tranmere 0, Tottenham 1 on TalkSport.
I think they'll be absolutely delighted with that. I really do, Jim, because they looked as though, for all intents and purposes, they're on their way in at half-time, all level, and they've just pulled a goal out of absolutely nothing.
Ellis and Caprice between them, able to get the ball clear. They're brought down at the back by Ben Davis for Spurs, and then he finds Davinson Sanchez. Sanchez forward towards Skip in the heart of the midfield, just his 2nd senior start for Tottenham tonight. He hit a ball out towards the touchline, and Son did well to control it. Goes out for a throw, which Walker-Peters will take into the feet of Son. Back for Kyle Walker-Peters again. 41 on the clock. Tranmere 0, Tottenham 1. Serge Aurier, the unlikely goal hero for Tottenham. Nigel Adderley down the pitch side. I can see just between the 2 dugouts. What was the reaction from the men either side of you when the ball went in?
Well, there was a muted celebration from the Tottenham bench because, of course, it's taken them so long to score. Tranmere, I think, disappointed that really it was lightweight play from James Norwood which resulted in that, because he gave the ball away to Aurier far too easily. It maybe just took a brush off Manny Monte on the way through, but Scott Davis, as you say, absolutely helpless. And now Norwood is still chuntering to himself from the Tranmere bench and trying to lift their team.
Son will be able to bring the ball forward. Spurs look to double their advantage with 2 goals in quick succession. Son stepped around McCulloch, but couldn't get away from Harris, and Tranmere are able to bring the ball away, but the white shirts can't really get forward. Norwood cutting an isolated figure up front at times, and Skip can win possession back on the Tottenham right. Back from him to Foyt. Foyt square through the midfield for Dele Alli with the white captain's armband around his left arm, finding Son. Son out to the Tottenham left for Kyle Walker-Peters. Back for Son again to the halfway line for Ben Davis. Davis plays it forward for Skip. Skip's got plenty of movement ahead of him into the feet of Lucas Moura, who will draw Monte out of position and try and turn past him. Monte has, well, I thought won it back legitimately, but Lucas Moura went down. Maybe the hand on the shoulder was telling Andre Mariner thought so. And the free kick for Spurs, which results, will be taken about 20 yards outside the Tranmere penalty area, Stuart.
Yeah, as I say, Monte probably just manhandling Moura on that occasion. So I almost feel sorry for Tranmere. I think they sort of settled into the game after a few skirmishes on their goal and looked quite comfortable within the game, but that's what happens when you play against top sides. Someone can pull a shot out from nowhere, and what Tranmere have got to solve in the second half is when they do turn possession over and do get it forward, that they maintain the ball and get numbers up with the likes of Jennings and Norwood.
Spurs have another corner which they've worked short, and then as it's whipped in from bottom left-hand corner of the penalty area, it drifts away. Just having a look at a replay of Serge Aurier's strike. He hit it with cut spin with his right foot. It was poor defensive play from Norwood, and he just does take a deflection, I think, off the top of Monte's foot on its way through, and goes into the top right-hand corner. And certainly that little touch gave Davis no chance whatsoever of being able to deal with it. We're in the final minute of the first half. Spurs lead, courtesy of that goal from Aurier, but Tranmere will feel as though he's given a really good account of himself or themselves up to this point. But it is 1-0 to Tottenham. The ball knocked away by Aurier. Through the midfield, Harris turns it forward. Reithaus then plays it down the left-hand side. It's turned over the shoulder of Gilmour. Brought down on the left-hand side by Reithaus again. Reithaus will roll it forward into the feet of Norwood. He's got away from Aurier, and he couldn't beat Foyt. But the first half will end with another Tranmere corner, which is their third of this first 45 minutes, and Liam Reithaus will come across to take it. 1 additional minute at the end of this first half, and we're in it now as Reithaus spots the ball down. McCulloch on the edge of the area. Caprice and McNulty have stayed back. Everybody else forward. In it comes from Reithaus. It's not a great defensive header. Just took a brush off the forehead of one of the Spurs players, but into a neutral part of the pitch, which Son got into first, and then Ben Davis will turn it forward, but McNulty will get there ahead of Ali and volley it back. Then it's brought down by Walker-Peters. Was he brought down by McCulloch? The referee says yes, and it's a free kick to Tottenham at 5 yards inside Tranmere territory, and Ali's taken it quickly, too quickly for the referee. Actually, the ball fall for Lucas Moura was too long and rolled through for Scott Davis. It was good vision from Ali, knowing that Moura would make the run for him, but the referee is still having a word with Luke McCulloch, and as a result, free kick's going to have to be retaken. Ball actually might have been moving as well. Now Ali does take it short into the feet of Son, and that has seen up the remaining seconds in a very entertaining first half. Tranmere have given a very good account of themselves, expecting nothing less, but it is Spurs that have the lead at half-time after that speculative long-range effort from Serge Aurier. Just took a deflection off Monte and went into the top right-hand corner. Tranmere 0, Tottenham 1. Well, the two teams are out for the second half, and no sign of any substitutions being made. So it's Tranmere with Davis in goal, Ellis, McNulty and Monte. Then Caprice, Harris, McCulloch, Gilmour and Reithaus, with Jennings in support of Norwood. Gazzaniga in goal for Spurs. Foyt, Sanchez and Davis. Aurier, Skip, Ali and Walker-Peters. Lucas Moura, Llorente and Son, the forward three. We're back underway with Tranmere kicking from left to right in this second half in their white shirts and blue shorts. And Spurs in their change kit of two-tone blue, winning a throw which will be taken over on the far touchline. Spurs have won 17 of their last 18 ties against lower division opposition, the exception being a defeat to Leeds in the 4th round back in 2013. They haven't lost to a side from the 3rd tier or lower for more than 30 years now, since an infamous defeat at Port Vale back in 1988. They've got their noses in front in this one. And they launch the ball forward towards halfway, where McNulty does well to power a header away from Lucas Moura. Skip brings it down, hits it back into the left wing back position for Walker Peters, who finds Ben Davis. And Davis on the edge of his own penalty area finds Walker Peters again, who's forced to go back for Gazzaniga, who clears. The Argentinian getting it over halfway, and it goes over both Ellis and Ali. Just took a brush off Mark Ellis's head out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Tottenham left-hand side. You're with TalkSport. It's live and exclusive national radio commentary from Prenton Park tonight. Spurs leading, courtesy of Sergio Aurier's first goal of the season, 5 minutes before half-time. Ali plays the ball back for Ben Davis. Davis to Davinson Sanchez, who's put under pressure by Norwood. When the ball went back for Sanchez, that was when the press was instigated. But Spurs have played round it, finding Skip. Back for Ben Davis again. And Davis comes towards the halfway line before launching it left-footed. Llorente heads it down. It's knocked away by Caprice. And Spurs win it back again. Ali playing it forward. Lucas Moura trying to just bulldoze his way through. Monte stood firm. It's good defending. It might break for Llorente again. And once more, Tranmere are able to knock it away. Play it out towards the left-hand side with Gilmour finding Ridehouse. And then Foyt had fallen over, was on the ground, and only about a foot off the ground, just headed the ball forward into the path of Dele Alli to get Spurs going again. His perceptive ball through was cut out by Gilmour. Then when it's played forward, Davinson Sanchez's lack of control almost presented it to Norwood, who I don't think anticipated the error from the Colombian. And Spurs are able to bring the ball forward again with Skip, and we've played 2.5 in the second half, and it remains 1-0 to Tottenham. But Son will make his way through. He's inside the penalty area. He's got Lucas Moura waiting for it. He's got Llorente waiting for it, who fires it into the roof of the net to double Tottenham's advantage. And they've scored in the 5-minute spell either side of half-time to take control of this third-round tie. There will be a shot this weekend. I don't think it's going to be on the Wirral tonight. Tranmere 0, Tottenham 2.
Yeah, Son should have been stopped, really. It was a 50-50 challenge. The bobble favoured Son. He went beyond, and I think the goalkeeper just overexposed himself beyond the near post, freed up the goal, and Llorente was there just for basically a fairly straightforward finish. And I think, like you, I think that's this game put to bed.
Well, he's only played 30 minutes of Premier League football all season, Lando Llorente, which is why he's set to join Galatasaray. He remains a Spurs player for now. It's his second goal of the campaign. And Monte's error has been capitalised on to full effect by Fernando Llorente. And it's Tranmere 0, Spurs 2. And the Rovers now in a position really where they've got nothing to lose and can flood the bodies forward, do what they can just to try and play their way back into this tie. And they have a free kick as they look for a quick response. And inside the penalty area, Norwood waits. Jay Harris is there as well. Jennings on the edge of the box, so too Ellis. Two Spurs players in the wall for this free kick, which is about 12 yards outside the penalty area. It's going to be bent in by Ridehouse, a little low flat one just in behind Mark Ellis, who will be able to run round it and bring it under control on the right hand touchline. Took a touch off a Spurs player, so he elected to let it run out of play for an opportunity to launch a long throw inside the penalty area. Just leans back over the hoardings on this near side. Now hurls it forward in towards the near post, looking for a flick on from Monte, and it should be cleared easily by Ali. Well, he did clear it, straight out of play for a throw. It's a slight miscue, and a throw which will be taken on the Tranmere right hand side by Ellis again.
Yeah, these are opportunities with Ellis, his long throw into the box. Monte obviously is the target, and they needs to get bodies around him for knockdowns.
Can they win the second ball here as Ellis drives it in? Monte has flicked it on, and it'll be played over the bar. What a chance. Glorious opportunity. A corner has been given. I think it was Gilmore that had the presentable chance. It broke on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it just took a little nick on its way over the bar. But that was a really good opportunity for Tranmere to halve the deficit almost straight away. They have a corner, which will be taken over on the Rovers' left-hand side. Plenty of movement inside that penalty area again. Harris looking for the near post flick this time. Lucas Moura's got it away. Back from Skip into the danger area. Lucas Moura with a little header under pressure from Norwood. He's conceded another corner.
Yeah, he certainly would. Good play on that occasion by Norwood. Put Moore under a lot of pressure in it. In the end, put him on his backside and force the corner. Need to put a bit more loft on these corners. He's drilling them. He needs to put some air on the ball, give Monte the opportunity to get under it. Once again, too flat, the delivery.
There's a skirmish on the edge of the penalty area involving Ellis. Gets back to his feet and drifts out to the right wing, positioned as the centre half, for an opportunity to try and get Tranmere going. Little backheel flick intended for Caprice, comes off Aurier and out of play for a throw. And these long throws from the Tranmere right have looked effective, which of course is the cue for him just to drop one at the feet of the nearest player, Caprice. But Caprice can drive a right-footed ball in. That one's hit Walker-Peters and goes out of play for a throw, down by the corner flag. And the throws have been effective because Monte comes to meet them at the near post. And it's all about, as you were saying, Stuart, feeding off the scraps here. Who can win the second ball? Because he's likely to win the first. He's got Llorente marking him, but he towers over him. Throw's going to be taken from the right-hand side. And because of where it is, Ellis has got more of a run-up this time. And he's thrown it forward, and Gazaniga has literally taken the ball off the head of Monte to claim it.
Yeah, good goalkeeping there. Certainly takes some pressure off the defenders.
Oh, Lucas Moura with a sublime touch is through. He's round the goalkeeper. He's gone down inside the penalty area, but of his own volition, he stayed down, Lucas Moura. But it was a penalty claim from him, not from anybody else, not from the Spurs fans behind the goal. And the goalkeeper, Scott Davis, comes out to make sure he's okay. It all came after Gazaniga claimed the corner, the long throw, should I say, and then rifled it forward. And Moura's deft little touch took it round the Tranmere back line. Davis raced out very quickly. Lucas Moura went to ground and is in need of treatment. Nigel Adderley, your view will be better than mine.
Well, it wasn't a penalty because Davis got the ball before Moura got there. It was actually caught by Davis's follow-through. It was a clash of legs as they were flailing both on the ground following the save. So it was the correct decision by Andre Mariner not to give the penalty, but Moura did get a bang on the knee, which is why he's receiving the treatment now.
Lucas Moura, who's won the French Cup a couple of times, but this doesn't look too bad for him. He's just being helped back to his feet. I thought it looked pretty ominous the way he was writhing around in pain with his arm up in the air initially, but he had a little bit of treatment from the Spurs medical staff. He will make his way off, still hobbling a little bit gingerly, Stuart, but looks as though he's going to be able to come back on.
Yep, I think a cold night in Tranmere, when you do take a bang on the knee, it feels certainly more painful than it does when you're at Wembley on a warm afternoon.
He's just making his way off now. Moura has a swig of some water and is going to be able to come back on in a moment. Walker-Peters has got the ball as play restarts. Lays it back for Davis. Davis goes back for Sanchez. And Sanchez across towards Foyt. Foyt put under quick pressure, forced to lay it back for Gazaniga, and Gazaniga will hit the ball, which bobbles a couple of times on its way through the penalty area. Ben Davis clears. Little header from Jay Harris falls straight for Lucas Moura. Llorente chips it over the top. Son has a little look to see what's on around him. He's brought it down beautifully, and he's played in Aurier, who scores again. 3-0, and Serge Aurier has two. Wonderful Tottenham move. Son inspirational with the touch, a deft little flick, and Aurier steaming forward from right wing back, side-footed it with power, and the defensive clearance on the line came too late. Tranmere 0, Tottenham 3.
I think Tranmere, certainly this half, have been architects of their own downfall in many ways. Harris there, a straightforward header. He's got himself in a brilliant midfield position to cut out any danger, and a straightforward pass by Davis, and it's skewed off the side of his head, and from that the Tottenham attack built. Good play by Son. And we saw earlier, didn't we, with Monte with his challenge, which should have been a little bit stronger, which helped set up the second goal for Tottenham.
Tranmere finding themselves 3 goals down, 3 in 15 minutes either side of half-time. Rovers again will push forward, will look for a response. They certainly haven't chucked it in, far from it. Here's Jake Caprice on the right-hand touchline, the right wing-back who played in the Scottish Premier League at one stage with St Mirren. Plays it forward off Walker Peters, and out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Tranny right, halfway inside the Tottenham half. Ali winning it back, playing it forward, getting away from McCulloch. Skip to Son, who can turn in the midfield, and now he will drive forward, and he's made some 30 yards, 40 yards. Still Son goes, the angle is tight, and he's rolled it in for a great FA Cup goal for Tottenham Hotspur. They'll replay that one time and time again. He's picked up the ball inside his own half, he's run 40, 50, 55 yards, and he just walks past Ellis's challenge and side foots a little bobbler past Davis and in, and it's Tranmere 0, Tottenham 4. And Son, in the space of 90 seconds, has made one and scored one.
Son's positional play there was superb. Straight ball. He's bisected the Tranmere midfield 3. He's got on the ball. He's turned on his first touch, and then he drove. He drove at Ellis, and Ellis was waiting for Son to open up his body and angle the ball into the far corner. He shut his body, pulled it round the corner, and finished with his left foot. Fantastic finish by Son.
It's the cue for a Tranmere change. Nigel Adley.
And it's Ollie Banks who comes on. He's been out for 9 games with injury, but he makes his comeback here, and it's Jay Harris, the player who has gone off.
Yeah, he's had a hernia problem. Banks, who did play in the 4th round at one stage in his career for Chesterfield, the son of Ian Banks, who was an excellent player in his time as well. Ball is over on the right-hand side for Tottenham, who lead by 4 goals to 0, 3 of them in an 8.5-minute spell in this second half. Here's Ben Davis, back for Sanchez, to Davis again. Davis has given it away, straight forward through the midfield to Gilmour. Gilmour angles one over the top. Banks will chase, but it's gone straight through for Gazzaniga.
Yeah, they've been a little bit sloppy with their passing, Tranmere, especially in the opposition's half, which is a real shame, because I think this scoreline doesn't reflect the game. I really don't. You know, Tottenham have had the ascendancy in the game, but Tranmere have just been a little bit sloppy since half-time, and it's cost them very, very dearly.
Well, last season they were beaten 5-0 here at Prenton Park in a first-round replay by Peterborough. 4-0 down inside an hour tonight here on TalkSport. Live commentary from the Wirral tonight, exclusively live for national radio this evening, and it's just a precursor to a very intense 3rd round weekend to come. Tomorrow we start 12:30, Manchester United against Reading. The goals as they go in, of course, over on TalkSport 2 at 3. It's Chelsea against Forest, then Blackpool Arsenal with Stuart and Sam from 5:30. 2 games for you on Sunday as the ball is played forward into the Tottenham penalty area. It falls for Banks, right-footed effort from 20 yards, beautifully and sweetly struck, but Gazzaniga could make a comfortable save. Elsewhere on Sunday, it's Woking Watford and Newport against Leicester. Monday, Wolves against Liverpool, which ends our FA Cup 3rd round weekend. Then, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday, Carabao Cup action resumes, and we'll be bringing you both of the first legs of the semi-finals when Spurs host Chelsea and Manchester City welcome League One Burton Tuesday and Wednesday respectively. On TalkSport we've got all the cup action covered for you. This one tonight, no shot. Tranmere 0, Tottenham 4. And Tranmere on the front foot again, bringing the ball forward, still very game. Jennings wins the free kick. Scored 4 goals in his 4 FA Cup ties this season, including that brilliant strike against Southport in the 2nd round, but this has been a bridge too far for them. Two previous FA Cup ties they played here this season have both been against sides from a couple of divisions below them. Oxford City from the National League South and Southport from the National League North, and they were held in both of those. Won't be a replay from this one, I don't think. In comes the free kick. Aurier heads it away. Son can bring it forward and find Lucas Moura. And now he will be able to drive forward and try and get away from Caprice. And Caprice, who's quick, has got back and done really well to get back goal side of the Brazilian, guided back for Davis, his goalkeeper, who will then drive it forward. Sanchez wins it in the air, gets it away from Norwood. A brisk pass comes down to the Tottenham left for Walker-Peters. And Carl Walker-Peters will play it through the midfield. And Son now is beginning to find little pockets of space, get away from McCullough with more ease than he did in that first half. He plays it out towards the right hand touchline for Aurier. He's on a hat-trick, finds Ali, right hand side of the penalty area, just tries to drag the ball away from the challenge of Gilmour. Aurier in strongly, and he's won the throw, which will be taken over on the right hand side.
Yeah, as I say, it's going to be a tough, I think, rest of the game for Tranmere. The one good thing is they've got the crowd fully behind them. Certainly the crowd haven't turned in any way, shape or form, and they're quite proud of the effort that the team have put in, but they've just lacked that little bit of quality and made a couple of basic errors that have cost them very, very dearly.
It's Tranmere 0, Spurs 4 in the third round of the FA Cup. It's live and exclusive on TalkSport with The Sun Football. Ben Davis plays it forward. It's knocked away by Jake Caprice. Brought down in the midfield by Ollie Banks, and then Caprice is in. Now he's goal side. He's got a lot of work to do, and he makes his way inside the penalty area. Now he had no support whatsoever. Forced to go for goal. He shot across the face of Gazzaniga's goal and wide.
Yeah, great break there. Great ball in behind, and Caprice sets sail. And we saw his pace earlier when he was defending Moura. And I think he'd have been better suited, just keep going, take another touch, commit the defender and put the ball, put the pressure basically on the Tottenham back line. But he took the shot early, but just pulled it across the face of the goal.
Gazzaniga's ball forward. McNulty did well to get round Llorente and knock it away. Then it's launched forward down the Tranmere left-hand side, and again they've been able to turn the back line. Gilmour bringing it down neatly, gets it away from Foyt, brought back down on the edge of the penalty area to Banks, who's looked lively since coming on. This is his first game for 6 weeks or so. Eventually Skip is back inside the penalty area, and he can clear out of play for a throw which will be taken over on the Tranmere left-hand side. 62 gone. Tranmere 0, Tottenham 4, with goals from Aurier in each half, and then Llorente and Son in this second half. Son scoring his 15th of the season in all competitions, only 3 behind Harry Kane now. Sliding challenge comes in from Skip to get it away. Ali chested down by Llorente, on for Ali playing it forward. Lucas Moura with a lively bouncing ball, did well to control it. Ali then likewise brings it away from Luke McCullough and finds Skip. Skip has lost it, just wanted too much time in possession, and Norwood will take it on, and Norwood will take on Davison Sanchez on the left hand side of the box, and again he's lacking for immediate support, but he's held it up well until Skip comes back and atones for his own error, chasing 40 yards back to dispossess Norwood, and just made the most of a moment's hesitation to be able to regain possession for Tottenham.
Yeah, Norwood there, he showed that pace that probably gets him goals in the division he plays in. You know, I think good defending eventually by Sanchez, who matched him pace for pace, but you would suspect on a Saturday afternoon he's going to run away from a central defender in this division.
A couple of league games coming up for Tranmere. Cheltenham away next for them, and then Swindon at home as they try and consolidate their top half position this season. Only 3 points off the playoff places in League 2, only 6 off automatic promotion as well, which in their first season back in the league is extremely creditable. Now another change is going to be made on the Tottenham bench, and here's a debut, Nigel Adderley.
And it's 20-year-old George Marsh who will come on. He has been involved with the under-21 side in the Checkatrade Trophy this season, but this his first appearance for the Tottenham seniors side. And it's Son Heung-min who comes off, the man who has either scored or created the 3 goals for Tottenham since half-time, and they will miss him when he heads to the Asian Cup.
The player that replaces him is just a touch versatile. How's this for versatility, Pierce? He's played 4 games in the Checkatrade Trophy this season. He's played at right wing back, and then moved into centre half, and then on the left of the centre half in the other 2 games. And pre-season against Milan in America, he played on the right wing. So he can play anywhere. Absolutely anywhere. He's started over on the right-hand side. Ollie Banks nudges it past him. Marsh is probably about 5'9", dark hair, just 20 years of age. Has played 6 senior games in his career. This is his first for Tottenham's first team. Lucas Moura making his way forward. Mark Ellis goes with him, but Moura has it. Right-hand side of the box, he's laid it back for Ali, trying to get in the goal-scoring act, Dele Alli, and not too far from the edge of the 6-yard box. Very clever, quick feet, gets it away. Marsh plays it in. A poor clearance from Banks, falls straight for Moura inside the box. Moura forced away outside the penalty area, but he's still got possession. Walker-Peters had Ben Davies to his left, but he couldn't find him. And Caprice can bring it away for Tranmere again. Another exhibition of the pace that he has in abundance. Brought back down under control by Jennings. Jennings forced away by Ali to go all the way back to his own goalkeeper, and Scott Davis will clear it over halfway. Going up for it, Sanchez heads it down. Caprice back in possession. Flick back away from Ali to Banks. And once more to go back for the goalkeeper Davis, and he will clear it right-footed, a long ball for which Davis and Sanchez can bring under control. The Spurs have got possession with Marsh in the midfield. And now to go down towards Ben Davis again. Davis to Sanchez. Sanchez out towards the right-hand side. Marsh playing in a kind of attacking midfield role at the moment on the right of 3 midfielders in behind Llorente. Dele Alli has it. Back for Skip. The right of 4 midfielders in behind Llorente, I should say. Now goes out towards the right-hand touchline for Marsh again. Exchange of passes between him and Aurier. Aurier played back in down the right-hand side by Llorente, and the sliding challenge from Monte took everything out. Aurier, almost the assistant referee. The hoarding was quaking as well for a moment, but it's gone out for a throw, which will be taken over on the Tottenham right. We're midway inside the second half. Here on TalkSport it remains. Tranmere 0, Tottenham 4. This has been for the last 10 minutes or so. Here's Ali. And Ali put under pressure by Luke McCulloch in the midfield. Lays it back for Ben Davis, who clips it left-footed over the top. Too long for Llorente. And through for Scott Davis.
He's been a really good option for Tottenham, Ben Davis, playing at that sort of the left side of a 3 central defender, just tucking in from his usual left-back berth. But I think he's been a real bonus and a real plus for them, hasn't he? Especially when they've had injuries or they want to change the side slightly. Yeah,
he's played on the left of a 4, he's played on the left of a 3, he's also played on the left of 2 centre-halves on occasions over the festive period, and a couple of games in there. That centre-half in a back 4, acquitted himself very well. Another player whose versatility is a real boon for Mauricio Pochettino. He'll have his 250th game in charge of Spurs when they take on Chelsea in the first leg of that League Cup semi-final. Sags in the chair for that. Sam Matterface talking through the action on Tuesday here on TalkSport. And a reminder of a double bill we've got coming up for you on Sunday in a moment as Dele Alli brings it forward here for Spurs towards the edge of the penalty area. Alli down towards the left-hand side of the box for Walker-Peters. Back from Walker-Peters to Ali again. Walker-Peters into the feet of Llorente. Back from him to Ben Davis. 10 yards inside the Tranmere territory. Skip, the blonde-haired midfielder, just able to bring the ball under control. And the 18-year-old knocks it forward, finds Lucas Moura, and Moura will try and beat McNulty for pace, and hits a right-footed effort which is comfortably claimed by Scott Davis. Now Banks looking for the long ball over the top for Tranmere, out towards the left-hand touchline. Norwood goes over there and has done well to bring it under control and beat Foyt. His ball forward is headed away by Ben Davis and brought under control by Dele Alli. On Sunday, it's Newport against Leicester, which kicks off at 4:30. One of the unused substitutes so far tonight for Spurs, young Timothy Ioma, his brother, on the books of Woking, and will be at Kingfield on Sunday for Woking against Watford. Two sides separated by more than 100 places in the league structure. And Matt Holland alongside me for that one on Sunday, the first half of our double bill then. We've got it all covered for you here on TalkSport. Tonight, on the Wirral, 20 minutes to go. Spurs leading 4-0 and in possession with Skip, who can send the ball bouncing through the centre circle for Dele Alli. Alli back for Skip again. Llorente wanted it play first time. He's got it. He's onside. He draws the goalkeeper and flicks it in for 5. 2 for Aurier, 2 for Llorente. He was playing right on the shoulder and it must have been a close call for offside. But the flag from Mark Perry stays down and Tottenham have a 5th.
What a wonderful pass from Skip. It really was. He's picked the ball up in midfield, got his head up, and he's just whipped a ball into Llorente's feet, who's right on the shoulder of the last man. Llorente still had plenty to do when he went through, but it was the pass that made the goal. Wonderful pass from a good prospect at Tottenham.
Well, he's the youngest player to start a Premier League game for Spurs since Gareth Bale did so back in 2007. He's very highly regarded. It's just his second start for the club tonight. That first one came against Burnley. And Spurs in complete control, as they have been since Llorente scored his first just after half-time. And it's been added to by Aurier, Son and Llorente again, and now Lucas Moura. Spurs look for number 6 and Llorente has it. Just playing it for the left-hand side of the penalty area, and Llorente walks onto it and a deft little flick steers it in at the near post. He got a hat-trick in the FA Cup and a 6-0 win last season. He's done it again. Tranmere 0, Tottenham 6, match ball for Llorente.
Well, I've been involved in games that have potentially finished 6-0, and you could see it coming, and you can see one team that have been totally outclassed. But I think this is a little bit tough on Tranmere, I really do. They've been taught a lesson on finishing. They've been taught a lesson on, if you make that odd mistake, how bigger teams can punish you, and Spurs have certainly done that tonight.
I'm reminded it was 6-1 when they beat Rochdale last season, but they've scored 6 again tonight. And Llorente got a 12-minute hat-trick in that game, has a 24-minute hat-trick this evening. His second in the FA Cup. Could be his Tottenham swan song. And now Skip, having been involved in goal number 5, has just brought down Jennings just outside the penalty area. That's 6 yards outside the box, slightly right of centre. And it's a free kick for Tranmere, who will certainly feel as though they deserve a tangible reward tonight of some description. Can they get a goal? Can they breach this Tottenham back line? Haven't been able to create too much from open play in this second half, but what can they do from a very presentable set-piece opportunity here? Spurs, paying them full respect, have a wall of 5, which is being told by referee Mariner to come back a good 2 or 3 yards from where they wanted to stand. Ridehouse stands over this. Norwood is there as well, but Ridehouse looks the favourite here on his left foot. No, it's going to be Norwood. It's right-footed. It's straight into that quintet of Tottenham players standing inside the penalty area. Back over the top from McCulloch. One back by Ali. Ali will be able to knock it away. Llorente steers it to safety, gets away from Banks, and now we'll find Ali again. Ali back towards Llorente, has continued his run forward. Return ball for Dele Alli on the edge of the area, and his right-footed shot just went over the junction of post and bar, and it was nearly 7.
Well, they just ripped out. It was just a series of 1-2s really by Llorente and Dele Alli, and they just worked them from the halfway line right up to the edge of the box, and the last man with the ball, Dele Alli, and he just couldn't get his shot down. And if you thought things were getting any worse for Tranmere, look at the touchline.
Nigel Adley can fill us in.
Fernando Llorente, having scored his hat-trick, will come off, and for the final 17 minutes or so, Harry Kane, the England captain, will come on to replace him. And of course, Tottenham have scored 6 on Merseyside for the second time in a couple of weeks. Can Tranmere match Everton and maybe get a couple in reply?
Well, Spurs have scored as many goals in a 24-minute period in the second half as Tranmere have conceded at home all season in nearly 20 hours of play in the league. Remember, they have outside of Liverpool, joint best defensive record of any of the 92 clubs in the league structure at home, with only 5 goals conceded in 13 league games. But they've been hit for 6 tonight. Llorente, having scored his hat-trick, comes off, and Harry Kane comes on. The offside flag is up against Norwood. Kane's FA Cup record is excellent, 8 goals in his last 7 FA Cup ties. If he scores tonight, incidentally, he equals Tottenham's Cliff Jones with 159 goals for the club. Jones currently 4th in Tottenham's all-time goal-scoring chart, but Kane can move level with him, or will move level with him next time that he scores. 6-0 Spurs lead, 15 minutes to go. Sanchez down towards his left-hand side for Ben Davies. There's now 21 goals that Spurs have scored in their last 5 matches in all competitions. Kane, little step over, little drag back, does well, moves through the midfield, tries to get away from McCulloch, draws Ellis out of position, lays it back for Ben Davies. 4 for Kane again. Kane's right-footed ball forward, brought down beautifully by Lucas Moura. He stumbled, still able to get back to his feet. Monte knocks it away from him. Skip returns it into the feet of Kane. Ellis in strongly and cleanly. Then Norwood to Jennings, chipped over the top for the run down the right-hand side of Norwood. Wasn't sure where the ball had gone. He looked round, looked over one shoulder, looked over the other. Couldn't see it over either of them. And Skip can bring it away.
Yeah, almost pantomime season there, Norwood. He was the wide receiver without a ball to receive.
Banks, tall, dark-haired midfielder, plays it forward over the top, headed away by Sanchez, but not too far away. Tranmere on the front foot inside the Spurs penalty area, but not for long. It's forced away, and Ali will get there before Caprice. He lays it back for Sanchez, and Sanchez will knock it through the penalty area and out towards the right-hand side for Foyt. And he knocks it forward for Skip, and Skip can bring it forward. It's Tranmere 0, Tottenham 6 here on TalkSport, and Ali plays it forward for Kane. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Kane again held up well by Ellis, takes it down towards the left-hand touchline and finds Skip. Skip plays it back towards halfway, and Ben Davies will bring it under control. He finds Sanchez. Sanchez 20 yards inside his own half, plays it out towards the right-hand touchline for Marsh. Marsh to Foyt, back for Marsh again. Marsh able to take the ball on the half turn, lays it out towards Serge Aurier. Aurier back through the midfield for Skip. Skip to Sanchez, now down towards Ben Davies. Davies down towards the left-hand touchline for Walker-Peters to Dele Alli. Alli out for Walker-Peters again. Walker-Peters bringing it forward, lays it off at the feet of Ali, who's continued his run. Caprice can knock it away from Walker-Peters, but Spurs maintain possession with Ben Davies. Davies back through the midfield for Skip, into the feet of Marsh on his Tottenham debut, and now to be played down towards the left-hand touchline again for Walker-Peters, who can turn it round the corner, but Dele Alli is offside, and that will be the cue for Spurs to make their final change, Nigel.
And it's going to be another debut. Timothy Aonma will come on, an 18-year-old, and he had a long conversation with Maurizio Pochettino, who had an arm round him in a paternal matter before this game to really try and talk his youngster through the remaining moments of this game. And it's Davinson Sanchez who comes off as Spurs make their final change.
Aonma has played on the right of 3 centre-halves before, and that's the position he will take now. Foyt moves into the centre. So Aonma, Foyt and Davies, the 3 centre-halves now. He's an England under-19 international, another player that they have very high hopes for as product of the Tottenham Academy.
Yeah, and it's good to see a manager having faith in these youngsters and putting them into the team. That's the one thing I admire about him and Tottenham as a football club, the way they progress these youngsters through the academy.
So the 18-year-old gets his first touch of senior football. Finds Foyt. He's only 20. Aonma 18. Marsh on the field 20. Skip, who started, 18. It is a young Tottenham team in parts for all the experience that they have elsewhere. Walker-Peters at left wing back, only 21. As Tranmere play it forward here with Ellis, Norwood is flagged offside. There's a vehement discussion between him and Eddie Smart, the assistant, as to the legitimacy of that flag. I think it's fair to say that Norwood wasn't convinced. Ioma plays it forward for Skip. Skip down to the left-hand side of the midfield for Ali. Spurs 6 goals to the good. 2 for Aurier, 3 for Llorente, 1 for Heung-min Son. Back for Ali again on the left-hand side of the midfield. He works it through that congested midfield area to Oliver Skip. Skip lets the ball run across him, gets it away from McCulloch, plays it forward down towards Marsh. Marsh then to the right-hand touchline. A chance for Aurier to bring it forward into the feet of Lucas Moura. Back for Skip again. Walker-Peters is just drifting off and finding space. Caprice will go across and detail him now, but the ball is there first. Kyle Walker-Peters just slowing it down again, finding Ali. Ali back for Davis. Kane, Skip, I beg your pardon, showing where he wants the ball to be played. It goes into his feet now. Now it finds Kane, who can take it on his chest and then just roll it forward with the instep of his right boot to Ali, who takes it down towards the corner flag. It's come off Caprice. Now to play for a Tottenham throw by the corner flag with 9 minutes to go, Stuart. And Spurs leading 6-0.
Yeah, I think most of the Spurs team, bar one, just want to probably keep possession of the ball and see it out. I get the impression Harry Kane thinks there's a goal here for me.
Tranmere will be able to bring it forward. They're going to make another change in a moment with Mullin getting ready. All the Tranmere players have given everything that they could have done tonight. Just fine margins, as we've been saying. The odd slight mistake that undoubtedly you'd get away with 19 times out of 20 in League 2, but not against Premier League opposition, as has been shown tonight. Ben Davis for Ali. Ali, Kane making his way forward. Is this his moment? Yes, it is! Tottenham in 7th heaven, and Kane's 19th goal of the season, his 9th in his last 8 FA Cup ties. It has been a second half destruction of Tranmere here on the Wirral. 6 goals in a 33-minute spell. It's Tranmere 0, Tottenham Hotspur 7.
Well, there's that man, comes off the bench, you know he's hungry for goals, no matter what the game, what the occasion, doesn't matter. Harry Kane is always hungry for goals. Great pass by Dele Alli to put him in, and when he got in, he made it look so easy, didn't he, really? You know, sign of a great goal scorer.
Well, Nigel, the change has been made for Tranmere with 8 minutes to go.
And it's Paul Mullen who has come on, a striker. He'll replace Connor Jennings, and no doubt Mickey Mellon now has league games coming up over the next couple of weeks. Cheltenham next weekend.
Absolutely, Cheltenham away, Swindon at home, the next 2 for Tranmere. This will be their first home defeat in 8 matches in all competitions, but I think there have been plenty of signs of promise tonight that would augur well for Tranmere's league season with 20 games remaining. Banks plays the ball inside the penalty area. It's knocked away. We have to make sure that there's no adverse psychological impact, though, to shipping 7 goals at home. That would be the danger.
No, they've certainly... I think they've kept at it. I've not seen any of their players drop their heads in any way, shape or form. I think they've just been beaten and punished for any half error that they've made. They've been punished, and whenever... Bar the first, probably 3 in the first half opportunities for Tottenham. After that, I think every time they've been in on goal, they've scored, haven't they, since then? So it's been a real sort of David versus Goliath, but I'm afraid Goliath has been Goliath today.
It's Tranmere 0, Spurs 7. In the 3rd round of the FA Cup. It's live and exclusive on TalkSport with The Sun Football. Visit the Sun website for all the latest results and news. Ali making his way forward, claiming a handball against McNulty, nothing given, and Tranmere are able to bring it away. Here's Jake Caprice. Caprice on his right foot launches it forward. It'll be chased gamely by Norwood. Gazzaniga didn't know whether to come out or not. In the end, Foyt swept up for him, played it back. Gazzaniga continued to retrace his steps back towards his own 6-yard box, and when the ball got to him, he just tapped it out for Ioma, and Spurs can bring it forward again. Leading by 7 goals to 0. Remember, they beat Tranmere 9-1 in an FA Cup tie back in 1953. It was a Spurs side that included Alf Ramsey, Danny Blanchflower as well. 3 generations on, it's another big win for Spurs against a side who, perhaps unsurprisingly, they've never lost against in all competitions. It's Ben Davis bringing it forward now. Down towards Walker-Peters on the Spurs left-hand side. 6 minutes to go. Skip. Crossfield pass from him. Out towards the Tottenham right. Look of Aurier. And it's headed away by Righthouse and out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Spurs right-hand side. Tranmere 0, Tottenham 7.
I think what we'll do, maybe on the way home, we'll pick Sags' brains about that game in 1953. I'm sure he was at it, and see what his thoughts about the game.
Well, he told me he thought Ramsey played well that day, yeah. Well, even though he wasn't on the score sheet. Here's Davis. Did he give you a post-match interview, Sags? The ball will be knocked forward by Davis. Forward through the midfield. Ali, Lucas Moura turning it into the feet of Kane. Kane, who can surpass Cliff Jones's record if he scores again on the Wirral tonight. The ball is played back towards him by Aurier, but it'll be cleared over on the left-hand side by Righthouse, only as far as Marsh. That goal from Kane, taking him 4th equal in Tottenham's all-time goal-scoring charts. That's an excellent piece of play by Banks in the midfield, who has looked sharp since coming on. McCulloch almost turning into trouble. McNulty can knock it away. Down towards the Tranmere right-hand side for Caprice. His ball forward, straight through for Foyt. Foyt finds Ioma, who can side-foot it forward, and then Skip will get Aurier going again. Aurier trying to get the better of Righthouse, who just sucking him into 50-50 and then was able to knock it away. He played it forward looking for Norwood, but Spurs won it back just as quickly. Ali taking some more advanced positions now, waiting for the ball. Marsh will play it to him, and he can take it on the right-hand side of the box. He's got Kane peeling away towards the edge of the penalty area. Lucas Moura and Walker Peters are both in there as well, as Spurs look for goal number 8 with 4 minutes to go. It's a left-footed attempt from Aurier on a hat-trick, almost out of the ground. Might have to make do with 7.
Well, we're finishing like that, they'll have to make do with 7. I mean, it was so far away from his first half effort that flew in the top corner.
Most of the credit of Tranmere that it is their fans that you can hear cheering them home for the last few minutes. Of course, it goes without saying, their campaign never likely to hinge on tonight, won't be judged on tonight. A chastening experience perhaps, but it is one that they can look back on, that they will be able to take positives from, and the be-all and end-all is consolidating their league position over the next 4 months or so. And the first yellow card of the night is shown there to Banks, who caught Skip a little bit late. And Ollie Banks picks up his 9th caution of the season, just one away from another suspension.
I think he's done okay since he's come on, Banks, to be fair. He's offered a little bit more energy in the centre and midfield. Ali to Walker Peters. Walker Peters getting it away from Banks, back to Ali again. Strong challenge on him from Ellis. Ali almost nutmegging the referee in a bid to retain possession. Skip will work it down towards the left-hand side for Walker Peters, then play back for Skip again. Skip back inside his own half for Ben Davis. His ball forward. Norwood slid in. He thought he had a chance to win it back. It falls for the other number 10 instead, Harry Kane, who drills it forward towards the edge of the penalty area, looking for Moura. Knocked away, and then Marsh wins it back on halfway for Spurs in a challenge with Mullen. Back towards Kane again. Kane has nutmegged McCulloch, then gets a return ball, flick forward. Lucas Moura takes it on and gets away from Caprice, takes it down towards the corner flag. 2 minutes to go. Spurs 7-0 up here. Walker Peters trying to waltz his way through inside the penalty area. McNulty, a fearsome customer to try and get round, and Banks will just lay it back inside his own penalty area for Caprice to be able to clear towards halfway. That is well brought down by Norwood. Every pass from a Tranmere player being applauded by the home support. Gilmore's gone down hurt. Play goes on with Kane. Ellis is sliding clearance. It's Aurier who tried his luck from distance, and Monte could block it, and now Skip will put it out of play so that the stricken Gilmore can receive any treatment that's necessary. Yeah, it looked like he got a nasty bang on the knee there. A sensible play, I think, by Spurs.
Tranmere physio will come on and just give us a chance to go back down towards the touchline. And Nigel Adderley, your closing thoughts?
Well, I don't think Spurs have missed in the second half, have they? Which just tells you how good they've been, and the chasm between Spurs and Tranmere throughout this second half. I think that the Tranmere fans here will try and look back on the opening 40 minutes or so when it was a tight game, and they tried to make it tight, but from the moment Llorente made it 2-0, it was one-way traffic, and Spurs have just been clinical, and I don't think this will have a massively adverse reaction for Tranmere moving forward, because on the night that they played a top side, and the gap between the 75 places, whatever it is, has been highlighted with every goal.
But as you say, since the 40-minute mark, Spurs have had 12 shots, 9 of them on target, 7 of them have gone in. They just haven't missed. Here's Davis bringing the ball forward. We're in the 90th minute. We'll find out from the fourth official in a moment, Paul Tierney, how many extra minutes will be added, and it's just 1. The ball played over the top by Ben Davis. Spurs might be able to create one last opportunity. Walker-Peters ball back behind Dele Alli. Alli on the edge of the box, trying to find a way through. Surely it was handball. Referee says no. Lucas Moura will turn and spin and hit a right-footed effort over the bar, and that will just about be that.
Yeah, as I say, it's been a good evening in some ways for Tranmere. The amount of fans that have turned up, and on this wonderful Friday evening to kick the FA Cup third round off, to get the amount of people through the door. But the other side of that is they've been really taught a valuable lesson on how to finish, and the stats that you wheeled out earlier just about said it all. Tottenham have hit the back of the net every chance they've had in this second half.
Has been a devastating display of finishing ability. Here's Kane, played forward. Ellis with the last touch of the FA Cup tie. Well, last season, Spurs went to Newport and Rochdale and perhaps learnt an object lesson in the fact that lower division sides can nearly embarrass you. They can run you close. And on both of those occasions, Spurs needed an equaliser in the last 10 minutes. But tonight, having been held by gutsy, valiant Tranmere for 40 minutes, Spurs then scored 6 in a 34-minute spell in the second half to win by 7 goals to 0. Class and quality clearly told. Tranmere leave the field despite the scoreline with heads very much held high and with hopes high that they can win a second successive promotion this season, but no cup giant killing tonight on the Wirral. Tranmere Rovers 0, Tottenham Hotspur 7.